In today's blog video, we're going to talk about a topic that we see in Facebook groups all the time. And what is that? It is the average cost of what is house cleaning, right? What's the average cost of house cleaning? And this can be a very controversial topic. I've seen it go both ways in some groups where some people are talking about like, hey, how much does it cost? I'll only pay my house cleaner $85 to clean a giant house versus why does my house cleaner cost $200 to clean the same house? So we're going to get into what affects the cost when it comes to house cleaning and why it can vary so widely. And there's a lot of different factors that go into this, but we're going to dive into just a handful of what those could be. Now, you could be a cleaning business owner, you could be a homeowner, a consumer looking for your home to be cleaned, or you could be a busy working mom like me where you have kids and a spouse and you're just trying to maintain a certain level of living or what you need to live. It could be different to everybody. And so this will be applicable to all of you. And I want to really dive into it and why, because I'm in Facebook groups all the time answering questions about house cleaning. How much is it? I mean, how many times have we seen it? Hey, I need a house cleaner. And there's like 500 comments with 500 cleaners soliciting themselves. And one of us might be in there, an Organize It rep or myself might be in there soliciting for our services as well. But I want to explain why we see such a variation in the difference of the cost, because it can go bonkers either way when it comes to that cost. And I was going to try to share a picture that I have of a situation exactly what I'm talking about so that you guys can get a better idea of what exactly that is. And I'm trying to see if I can find it because I thought it was a great example of sometimes a lot of people not knowing what that is. So I'm going to share my screen and just give you a glimpse of just what we see kind of coming up and what we see that comes up. That's the common question. And here's an example of the common question. So it says, please do not solicit. It's in support of moms of Southwest Florida. It says, I'm having someone come to my house tomorrow for a bi-weekly cleaning quote, hoping to get an idea of what it is, what's a competitive rate. Never had a cleaner before. We have a 2,300 square foot home. It's not necessarily, I don't necessarily want the whole house clean, like bedrooms, just mainly the kitchen, the bathroom, and the floors. Is this something? Any help with what to expect for pricing is appreciated. So I want to get into what could really affect the pricing. So first of all, on the Organize It webpage, we have all of our pricing. It's public. We use Service Cart to do instant quoting. So she can go on there and see what 2,500 square feet and then put in biweekly and then give you an instant price. Our pricing it's public facing. So if you're a consumer and you're interested, or even if you're a house cleaner, you want to see what we're charging, you can go on there and take a look. But there's a lot of factors that are going to go into this. The first thing I want to talk about is there's a big difference. See, there's already 48 comments. There's a big difference in just a house cleaner and a house cleaning company. There's a huge difference. And there's some factors that are going to go into this that are going to affect the pricing. Why you might see somebody say $85 and someone say, I charge $200. And one of the biggest differences, if they're an independent cleaner, they are not paying staff. They're not paying for training. And you might want to check to see if they're bonded, insured, and pay workman's comp. And so the factors that go into this are there are a ton. And that's why you're going to see a variation in pricing when it comes to this, because I gotta stop sharing my screen. There are a lot of variations that come into this, and we're going to get into some. So, what are the factors that influence cleaning? So we all know the typical factors: the size of your home, right? If it's a larger home, if it's a smaller home. Also the location. where you're located. Because of drive time could affect the pricing. The level of clutter inside the home can affect the pricing. These are more due to your control, kind of. And then the type of cleaning, right? Do you want a one-time clean, a deep clean, or a recurring cleaning? And so from there's some factors that are going to go into it that are not talked about very often. And that is the standard of the quality or type of company. So if you're just hiring a solopreneur, a one-off, they don't, again, have employees, so there's no employee taxes. They're not paying some of these extra things that a company would pay for. So we could go into some. We have to pay for training. We have to pay for benefits, such as vacation time, PTO time, dental, medical. We give our cleaning technicians their birthday off. Then we pay for workman's comp. And then we pay for insurance, liability insurance. And then we pay for bonding. And what is that? And then also companies have more flexibility because we do have staff. How many people have hired a one-off and then they don't show up, or they're inconsistent, or they keep changing the schedule? And it's no fault of their own. It's just them or a very small team. I've been there. That's how I started. But with a company, you get more consistency because we have a team in the office to schedule. We have a team in the office to answer phone calls. We also have quality assurance and guarantees and policies in place to protect the consumer, the employee, and the company. But when we're a solopreneur, we're a one-off, we may not have these things in place, which affects the cost. Ultimately, it all comes back to the cost. So as a consumer, you have to figure out what's the most important thing to me or my home or my family right now, because maybe you can't afford the $200 and you can afford the $85. But as we grow, we have more liabilities, we have maybe we're more successful, we have more assets. We have to start to protect those. And if someone gets hurt at my home while cleaning the house, back in the day, it didn't matter because you couldn't sue me for anything because I didn't have anything. But nowadays, I have to think that I do have much more to protect because I own multiple businesses. Protecting my home or our assets is very important to us. And that's where the workman's comp and the liability and the bonding get very, very important to the homeowner, to someone like myself. And then too, back in the day, if they needed to reschedule or change, no big deal. But now I'm so busy, those actually play a really important part of what is important to me, because I need consistency because I have to prepare the home and the kids, and I'm working from home. So those are now important to me. But back in the day, it didn't matter because I was much more flexible. So it depends on your lifestyle right now and what you're looking for and what's important to you. These factors can really vary by where you are, the consumer, right? The homeowner, where you're at in your life. So those are just some things to think about. But what does workman's comp and bonding and liability insurance actually do? So I'm not an insurance agent, but I carry all of them and pay for them. And this is why you're going to see a higher rate. So make sure when you're shopping around for a price, you know the facts. Do they have it? If they don't, I'm okay with it. But then the price should reflect that. And if they do have it and I need it and I'm not okay with them not having it, then know that your price will reflect that because it will be higher. But bonding covers us if I don't have a diamond ring on, but if I had a diamond ring on, bonding covers us if, oh my gosh, Libby's diamond ring is missing and the cleaning company stole it. You know how many times you get accused of something and then you're like, oh, never mind, I found it, I put it in another drawer. But if the cleaning company stole it, bonding would cover that. Bonding covers theft, right? Bonding covers those things like they stole my iPhone, my diamond ring, $1 million portrait on the wall. Bonding will cover that. Now, liability insurance covers if Libby comes in and cleans your house and we leave the bathtub on by accident and it floods your whole house. We ruin the floors and all the drywall, right? That's where my liability, or we scratched your stainless steel refrigerator because we cleaned it with the wrong products. Or we cleaned it with a magic eraser. Oh my God, we have a whole training on what to not clean a magic erasers with. And that's what you get when you go with a company. Sometimes you get that training, those policies and that protection. So liability insurance protects us when we mess up in your home, like we break something, we ruin the floors, we scratched your stainless steel refrigerator. And then what does workman's comp cover? And I think workman's comp is one of the biggest things to ask about. And you know what? Kind of pisses me off that nobody asks if we have workman's comp. Workman's comp covers if the cleaner gets hurt in your home. You are not liable as the homeowner. The company has insurance to cover that. If they fall over the vacuum cleaner cord and break their ankle, if they trip over it, if they fall in your driveway and slip, you name it, they are covered and you aren't liable. The cleaner or the company is not going to come after you to say, hey, you got to pay their doctor bills. Hey, they fell in your house. It's protecting your home, right? Because your home is your biggest asset. So it's protecting that home in case an accident does happen, in case a cleaner, a worker, no matter what company you're using, doesn't have to be cleaning, gets injured in your home, right? That way there is protection. The liability also protects us if you, the homeowner, trips over the cord to the vacuum cleaner, right? Nobody thinks about that part. So the liability, I'm going to go back a little bit. Liability protects us if, oh my gosh, we ruined your floors. We ruined your stainless steel refrigerator. But if you, the homeowner, trips over my vacuum cleaner, it helps protect yourself and the company as well, because we are insured to help cover those expenses. So this is why in Facebook groups, sometimes it drives me bonkers that the consumers don't understand why I can't charge $85 like Susie with a bucket. I'm going to call her Betty with a bucket. Why Betty with a bucket can charge $85. I respect Betty with a bucket and she has her place. We all start from somewhere. But understand as a consumer that I can't charge $85. We've put so many policies and protections and, policies like insurance and then written policies in place that we have to do this to operate as a company, as a big company. And then I didn't even get into covering the benefits for employees, right? House cleaners need a vacation. They need time off. They need PTO. They need benefits. And for the company to give them benefits, we cannot charge $85 to clean a 2,300 square foot home because we have to then also factor in the benefits for that. And then I want to add more on top of that. Let's keep going. We have a full office staff. So we have an ops manager, we have a sales representative, we have a scheduler, we have the customer service rep. And that is because we need all of the bases covered if you want to reschedule, if you want to call the office, if there's a billing issue. We have these people on staff because how many times have we heard, oh, I called my company, nobody answered the call. They just charged my card. Like, I want to reschedule and no one will answer the phone. We have a whole office team besides the technicians that are in the field. And that's how most larger companies are set up. And so we have to account for that overhead of management, of leadership, of CSMs and sales and ops or field managers, where if you're, again, a solopreneur, you don't have that overhead and you can charge the $85. And I'm not here to knock the solopreneurs. That's how I started. That's how most of us start. But what I'm here to do is to educate the consumer of, when we're in Facebook groups, why there's such a differentiation in price. Why? There's a lot. And there's a lot that goes into it as a business owner and a service-based owner. So I hope that this was informative. I hope it helped. If you ever have questions at all about just cleaning businesses, organizing, because we do professional organizing as well. They're insured, they're bonded, there's workman's comp on our organizers as well. We don't tend to get the pushback with organizing, which is interesting, but we get a ton of pushback from the cleaning aspect. But if you guys ever have questions as a consumer or another cleaning business owner or organizer, I'm more than happy to answer them. You can always drop us a question. You can email us. It always gets routed back to me if my office staff doesn't have the answer. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of variable, but the value of professional cleaning is in the eyes of the beholder. It's what's important to you and to your family at that moment, because it's going to be different for everybody. So, investing in a professional cleaning service is not just about keeping your home looking pretty, because at the end of the day, cleaning is the least important part of the service until it's not, right? It's the most important part of the service until it's not. What does that mean? That means you're just looking for somebody to clean until something goes wrong, and then it's the least important part. And that's why hiring a company that you vet with all of the things that I just listed is super important to your safety of your family, your home, and your possessions.